All right, I'd like to welcome you to the class. And the training session we're going to be covering is how well are you listening? I want to let you know how appreciative I am that you took the time to attend and set up. So we all know that the class is only going to be 30 minutes. If you need to use the restroom, it's down the hall. And first and foremost, hopefully, you guys will learn something from this whole session. And I want you to know that there will be a prize for the most participation. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to, first of all, let's do a brief overview of the learning objectives. What you have in front of you is your participation packet. And if you'd like to, I believe that's the first page is what we're going to kind of cover today. Hopefully that's something that you'll get. Training will demonstrate an improvement in listening skills when communicating with others, as well as listening to oneself. The training will be able to resolve problems easier, times used more effective and efficiently. And then you'll also be able to build stronger relationships. So the first thing we're going to do is an icebreaker. And whether you're telling people that you love them, or you're angry with them, or could care less about them, body movements reveal your thoughts, moods, and attitudes, both consciously and subconsciously, as your body tells observers what's really going on with you. So the first thing we're going to do is, I'm going to tell you really fast to follow my actions. So, are you ready? Put your hand to your nose, clap your hands, stand up, touch your shoulder, sit down, stamp your foot, cross your arms, put your hand to your mouth. Oh, good! Right. Everybody did it. Okay, so the point of that little exercise was to show you how important body language is. Because all of you hesitated when you saw me put my hands on my nose. Okay, very good observations. I'm really proud of you. So in facilitating this, let's do what we would call a round robin. How do you think having better listening skills will improve your life? Just one thing each.
In marriage, I will improve listening, which is part of communication.
Very good.
Raising kids.
Very good.
And working with the public.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What challenges have you had at listening well?
I like when I'm frustrated, I just want to talk first and be understood.
Nice.
Marriage.
In marriage. That's a
Being
challenge
married
for
to me.
listening.
Yeah, being married,
Okay,
Jasmine.
very good, very good.
As I'm maturing, it's like memory isn't quite as sharp as it used to be.
I can totally appreciate all three of those. What if I could teach you a trick or two about listening well? Would you like that today?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to do is, you guys have probably heard of the game called telephone. When you were little, you would tell someone something and it'd go around the circle, okay? Well, they also call it down the line, or there's other names for the game. So here we're going to do, I'll go ahead and start with Betty. And I'm going to whisper in her ear, and then you have to tell Rai, and then Ryan will tell Jasmine, okay? Just for fun. Okay, ready?
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wait, you want me to read it?
Okay, one more time. One more time.
That's too much.
Is it? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's break it
First
down then.
sentence was enough.
Okay, all right, so.
You read it?
Now you have to tell them.
The listening process has 5 stages. Receiving, listening, participating. That's all I remember.
Yours are right.
Listening participation has 5 stages. Listening. Stop.
Perfect.
And there you have it. Okay, so really basically the sentence is, okay, that's good. The sentence is, the listening process has 5 stages: receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, and responding. Do this and you will be genuinely listening. So we had a very good scientific experiment right there to prove what the point of this whole thing is. And at that moment, I'm going to go ahead and discuss with you guys, because if you know this, Oral Roberts started the whole university out in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma. He basically said that every person can hear, but he has to be listening. That's what his book is about. That's what his university was based on, because he was instructed by God himself. Nobody's listening! Okay, you get it? And we also know about Jesus in Revelation 3:20. He said, if any man can hear my voice, open the door and I will come to him and sup with him and he with me. That's Revelation 3:20. It's a beautiful thing. Listening is such an overlooked thing. Okay. So here we go. Now that we've done the first exercise here, I'm going to put the words out. Do you all recall what they were as far as what? Can you put them in order as far as what it was that we just did? I'll say it one more time.
You don't have to say it again.
Okay, I won't. Jasmine remembers. Okay, so let's see.
Evaluating, understanding.
I thought I put it in the right order.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Okay, so you each have an input.
Okay, I know receiving was first. It makes sense you receive and then you evaluate. And then you understand and you respond and you remember? I don't know.
When you understand before you evaluate.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
And then you remember and then you respond. No,
Okay,
respond,
bingo.
and then-
You guys hit it on the button. That is
Awesome.
Hey!
totally right here. Right on.
Good teamwork.
Beautiful. That is
We
so
did it.
beautiful. I'm so excited that you got that.
that.
So that is fantastic. But now that we've done this little icebreaker, I'm really proud of you guys, by the way. I found Dr. Susan Heitler did a study on the art of listening and how to open your ears. She went on to summarize that there are 5 effective listening habits and 3 problematic patterns. Truly great listeners do all 5 and virtually none of the 3 problematic listening styles. The use of the listening skills for others, the use of skills for listening to others, for listening to their, they use the skills for listening to others, for listening to their own thoughts and concerns, and to listening with attunement to their bodies. Has any of you ever listened to yourself? For instance, if
Yeah.
you felt something physical, you would say, oh, what is that? Or,
All the time because I'm pregnant.
thank
So-
you. It's a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
We do, even as we go. She describes the 5 different listening styles are hungry listening. The hungry listener has a real appetite for learning perspectives. Their responses convey interest in what you say and encouraging you to say more. By contrast, some folks are anoretic when it comes to listening, and they have little interest in others' worlds. It's not much fun to talk with them, even if they have lots to say. The doctor goes on to discuss hunting, gathering, and clarifying. A hunting listener is the explorer. They utilize open-ended how, what, and why questions. These listeners are good hunters. They have a knack for asking the kinds of conversation starter or follow-up questions that build fascinating conversations. Gathering, thinking out loud about what you've heard and able to be nourished by new data, new thoughts, new insights, and understandings. Gatherers have the ability to register information, attaching it formally to held ideas. Then there's clarifying. This type of listener selects important issues that have questions that begin with how or what. They request more information when anything sounds unclear. So let me just say, information is power. Misunderstandings are powerful sources of upsets. Listening to your body especially requires this kind of clarifying listening. When you feel pain or notice a lump or become aware of an unusual dark spot on your skin, do you look the other way or do you find out what the problem is and what's going on? On the other hand, if you become frightened by your body signals, that would be counterproductive. So, porous listening, this includes all of them: hungry, hunting, gathering, and clarifying listening. This signals someone is open to deeper connection and it be that they seem capable of interesting conversation. Quickly, the three problematic listening habits are non-responsive listeners. They say nothing about what was spoken to them, or maybe there's just no way to tell if they even heard you. And then you listen. There's also the problematic listener of listening like a goalie. They respond with, "What's wrong with what you said?" So we've all been around people like that. A rebound listening is the last problematic listener, and this is when a person grabs the spotlight, bringing the conversation back to him or herself. Are you a problematic listener? Can you tell me if you are an effective listener? Which type of listener can you tend to be? So, in your participation packet, there is a self-assessment quiz. Let's see if you can find that there. And go ahead and take a moment and go down each question. There is a scoring process there, 1 to 5. 1 being not true at all about you, 2, you mildly disagree, 3, you partly disagree, and 4, you 3, you partly disagree or agree, and 4, you mildly agree, and 5, the statement is totally true about you. Then total the numbers at the bottom. So again, here's a little cheat sheet I made for you on the scoring, but we'll discuss this after you finish your assessment. If you have any questions, or you can read it out loud if you don't understand the question. What is it, baby? Oh, it's a little bug up there. She wants it. Roy Rice first. So 5, you totally agree. 1, you just disagree totally. And then perfect. Okay, yeah, if you can, total your score and put the number at the bottom. Wonderful, everybody's finished. So now let's take a quick look at this 3-minute video clip. Thank you, Jasmine. You're my wonderful assistant. This is a program called Lie to Me. If you haven't seen it, it used to be a series on TV and Netflix. It is absolutely fantastic. But let's just glance at this for a moment. It'll take 3 minutes. Oh, well, let's go into the, it has to show something. Oh, okay, let's see if we can pick it, the next one. Yeah, do that one. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So let's watch his facial expressions and whatnot. Perfect. And there's been studies done that your face reveals it. You have to watch what they put in the background. So there are actually 43 muscles in the face and 10,000 expressions. That there's actually science done on this. And ironically enough, this series utilized politicians to compare with their facial expressions and all. It was fascinating. I do believe that that's probably one of the reasons it was taken off the air. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's a whole science behind this. I found it quite fascinating. I used to be hooked on this program, so I Isn't that fascinating? And just a simple thing like swallowing when someone is speaking. Or a twitch of the eyebrow, or and he would use it in the series. He would use it to break crimes, solve crimes. I don't know if it's going to be.
Probably about a minute left.
Chrissy, we don't mind this.
Facial expressions.
10,000 of them. Juicy's a little better. Thank you, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you have your score in front of you, let's take a look at your score. Each of you can go around the room and tell me what your score is, and here's the overall of it. We can act like this is a flip chart. So, Jasmine, what was your score?
24.
24. So you are a strong listener. Right?
24.
Oh my gosh!
That's
Right on.
awesome.
Betty, what was your total score?
15.
Oh my goodness! So you are definitely a strong listener, right? The lower you're listening, the lower your score, the better you're listening.
You're better than us.
Nice.
Just experience.
So,
I'm not.
that was fun, but there's another quick thing. Does everybody have their phone handy by chance?
Yeah.
No? Can you grab it right quick? Would you
Oh,
like
yeah.
to take a moment? And
I
just-
leave both around the couch. Since I guess we got it.
Is
Yeah,
that
it's
okay
your
if you
phone,
can? I meant to say that before we started, but. So, okay, perfect. Do you have your phone, Betty? Okay, everybody, if you could go to, let me see, where is it? It's, just type in under Safari, if you will. Find your Safari window.
Okay.
And type in Dr. Oz listening quiz. Right. Dr. Oz listening quiz. This quiz will take about 2 minutes to complete. And after the completion, please hold the screen on so that you may share your type of listener with the group. So again, I'm sorry if it's too boring for another quiz, but
No,
I
it's
found
not.
it fascinating. Especially being that even Jesus said over and over, if you have 2 ears to listen, listen. And yet in America today, it's becoming a lost cause. Simply listening, because there's so many distractions, you know. Is that it, Rai?
I found my test.
Okay, good. Jasmine found hers. Uh-oh.
There we go.
You just
We're fine.
hold the mouse, but it's not asleep. It's
Oh.
Okay, where are we going?
don't click. But yeah, Dr. Oz.
Yeah, Dr. Oz listening quiz.
Okay.
Thank you, Rai. Just 2 minutes. You can start it, Jasmine, if you're ready.
Okay.
And just after completion, please hold it.
Oz.com, is that it?
Yeah, this first one.
And then go ahead and answer the questions.
You have to press start quiz. And then it starts the slideshow.
I'll start quiz.
It's really fast. And then when you're done, hold it on so you can read aloud to the group your listening type.
It's interesting knowing what my answer is and what I think Ryan's answer
And
is.
see, isn't that cute? I'm so proud of you. You're both strong listeners.
I think it's only 3 questions.
Yeah, it's very fast.
Okay.
And then once you know what you are, either write it down
Okay.
and then one at a time. Jasmine, if you're there, why don't you go ahead and read what type of listener you are?
Okay, I got active listener. An active listener focuses on progress and the steps needed to reach an outcome. If you're an active listener, you're all about getting something done, whether it's a task or a solution. Tap into your listening ability by adopting a regular meditation routine. Finding a quiet space and tuning into your thoughts can help you better focus and maintain your creativity. Get more mind shift and motivational tips on the Dr. Oz app.
Beautiful. Who's next?
Mine
Ready?
is ditto.
You're an active listener
yeah.
as well?
Awesome.
Beautiful. Okay. Ryan, what type of listener are you?
Perspective listener.
Me too. Okay, go ahead. Read that one.
Perspective listener is a curious listener that finds value in gaining other perspectives. If you're a perspective listener, like Dr. Oz
Or Julia.
or Julia, you're open-minded, and not looking to draw to a conclusion. That's it.
Beautiful. So, are you what you thought you were? One at a time. Are you what you thought you were? No.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Okay, that's beautiful.
Especially what the question that resonated the most with me was the one that said, when somebody, what type of conversation do you enjoy the most? I like productive conversations.
Absolutely. I can totally agree with that.
Same.
That's beautiful.
It's a good point. No,
Yeah.
No mumbo jumbo.
no rabbit trails.
That was I know, I was between those two. I was like, to the point or productive?
Yeah.
Moving on, the study of emotional intelligence is a fascinating topic, and this stems from discovering our listening traits and skill sets. Albert Einstein is quoted by saying, "Creativity is intelligence having fun." So let's do our last activity. Grabbing a blank piece of paper, you might have to turn one over in your packet. I'm going to go ahead and put these words on the table, and using these words, please do a quick story. I'm going to give you 3 minutes.
Using all of the words?
Yeah, in whatever order you like.
Only those words?
No,
No.
you can just, whatever they are, just use,
You're allowed to use filler words.
yeah, using all the words as well. And go. Betty's done.
Good subject.
Okay, so Betty, you're going to go first. We'll give you about 40 seconds more, guys. And it's okay if you did. I'm not going to grade you on it. Okay, so the object here is Betty's going to start by reading her story. And then as soon as, once, are you all done?
Almost.
You can. She can read her
No,
story.
that's
You're
okay.
just way too fast.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know, finish.
That's
I make
okay.
like a sentence per word.
It's okay. I know my Jazzy's wordy. She has a lot of words. She's very
Many
creative.
words in a sentence.
That's what I
Yeah,
try.
you could
and
do
then
that.
I get-
Yeah.
Ready to do it all in one sentence.
Well, then the game wouldn't work then. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm almost there.
The idea here is not only are you going to be using your listening skills, but your memory and all the other as well. So,
That's good enough.
yep, good enough is good enough. Even Jasmine likes writing a book. She's my writer. She's always been a good writer.
Got it. Got everyone.
Perfect writer. I don't know if Jasmine thought of the words yet.
I always have brain
No period. I just saw the period.
Well, I'll go ahead and explain the rest of the object of this little exercise. So, Betty, if you'd like to, because you've been sitting for a while, you can stand up if you want. It's optional. I'm going to go ahead and cover the words now. And Betty's going to read her story. And as soon as you remember one of the words, you have to say stop. And that's when you start reading your story.
Oh, we switch off.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay?
Okay.
So,
Every
okay.
time you
So,
hear a word,
yeah.
It doesn't have
So-
to match up with my word.
No. But every time any one of these words gets said, oh, well, then you got it. So you can, don't let anybody see your paper. No. So then when Betty starts reading her story, and if you guys hear one of the words that we wrote down here, you say stop and you start reading your story. And just remember where you left off. Because if you say a word, somebody else is going to say. Do you follow me? No? No? Is it too confusing?
this is interesting.
Okay.
Just go.
It's all about listening. Yeah.
Go for
So
it.
go
Read
ahead
it.
and start.
Okay. God's word.
Got it. Arriving home this morning.
Oh,
Great.
home. That.
Good.
In the beginning was God's word.
Okay. Stop. To a brand new day.
New.
Oh, yeah. Brand new was in there,
Good, good. You guys are remembering. So
I
then,
concentrated.
yeah,
which
that-
is Jesus Christ.
Stop it. I enthusiastically started listening to.
Listening.
There you go.
good, good.
Oh, good.
And then Betty,
No,
you go.
you pick up from where I stopped you.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly right.
let's see. Teaches us love.
Okay.
Love. Oh,
Here you
you
go.
you
You said it first.
Oh. He is the deliverance of eternal life.
Okay. You said it
Yeah.
first. You go.
Good and bad habits at
Oh,
home.
good
Okay.
and bad.
Good and bad.
Okay.
You say it.
Bringing light.
Okay. I don't remember where I was. To God's word about how.
Oh, God's word.
There you go.
You got it before I did.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. And how worthy
Worthy
Yeah.
and is worthy of all
Okay.
praise.
and God And good.
Oh,
Good.
good.
Brings a new life.
Okay. There's new life, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Okay. His children are, and how Jesus Christ got rid
Jesus
of.
Christ.
There you go.
He brings the good news even to those
Okay,
who
good,
are
good, good. Got rid of all bad through
Bad.
his. Bad.
Of light.
Oh,
Light.
oh. That's me. I got it.
he did
His light and
lies.
Okay, so I think this is, you guys are getting it. Let's go ahead and one at a time each read what we wrote. Betty, you go ahead and
Okay.
start.
I
But that was so
I figured-
good about listening.
I figured by the time whoever got done first with theirs won, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely
That
right.
would have been cool.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Okay. God's word teaches us love, good and bad habits at home. Jesus Christ brings a new life of light, a worthy life, as you are listening and seeking eternal life.
That's beautiful.
Arriving home this morning to a brand new day, I enthusiastically started listening to God's word about how worthy and good his children are and how Jesus Christ got rid of all bad through his light and eternal life.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Oh, Ryan, that's beautiful.
In the beginning was God's word, which is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the deliverance of eternal life, bringing light, and is worthy of all praise. He brings love and the good news even to those who are bad. He makes us brand new. May we all be active in listening to him.
Sounds like multiple
Wow.
sentences
Oh
there.
my
It is.
goodness.
Yeah. And then
So,
It was supposed
Betty,
to
Very
be one
nice.
sentence.
No, she said it could be multiple sentences.
absolutely.
Oh, I was trying to do one sentence.
No,
Well,
but-
it turned out great anyway.
It was totally great. I think you nailed it. That's what it was all about. Whoever could finish their story first. But
Yeah,
we're getting
you're a
into
good
a point.
listener.
So, if I were to give a rough overview of what it means to listen to someone, I would say that listening is something along the lines of seeing the world from another's perspective without validating or invalidating that perspective. And that's not an easy thing to do, which should be very evident from what's going on in the world today. Mostly, we don't get interested in how the world looks to another. Mostly, we're interested in getting people to see how it looks to us. And so on and on it goes. Could it be simply that this is why the world is in the mess it is in today? Okay, there's one last bit by Julian Treasure from TED Talks. Danger, we are losing our listening. Basically, he says we're making meaning of sound. And he goes on to say that listening is the main way we experience the flow of time from past to future. Every spiritual path has listening and contemplation on it. That's why I believe we should bring listening as a study back into schools. There are 5 exercises to take away from his talk that will maximize your listening power. And the 5 steps are 3 minutes of silence a day. He calls it the mixer, identify individual sounds. There's also savoring. It might be in your packet, that's right. Savoring, which is what Julian calls the hidden choir. And then listening with position. That would be either your active or passive, and so on. I want you to look at his acronym, RASA, which in Sanskrit means juice. You are to receive, appreciate, summarize, and ask. He simply puts it, if you do these things, you will be understanding, you will receive connection, understanding, and peace. Now, in summary, I'd like to debrief and run through a real quick overview. We learned that there are 5 learning types: the hunting, the gathering, the clarifying. And who can tell me what the 5 learning types are? Do you remember? What are the 5 learning types by Susan Heitler?
Hungry, hunter, gatherer, clarifying.
That's right. Last one, porous listening. Porous listening is all 5. Very good. We determine which learning styles are most identifiable for each of us individually on Dr. Oz's quiz. Jasmine,
Active,
Betty, you were
active
active also. Ryan?
The same one as you.
Perspective.
Perspective.
That's right. So I wrote down here a question. Which one is your partner?
Ryan's perspective.
Yeah.
I'm active.
Very good. We were introduced to a television program that uncovers techniques to listening with all your senses. I highly recommend if you have any interest in this type of skills, you can watch the program later. It's fascinating to see how he does what he does. There are no guarantees. However, I hope you will be determined to use your skills that you have identified today in real life situations for the rest of your lives. How will you feel differently towards communication now that you have had your listening style identified?
I'm taking notes.
For me, it makes me realize that one skill that Ryan has is like taking the test. I knew what he would say. As far as when people give him positive feedback, he always asks why. Like if I say, "I'm so proud of you," he'll be like, "Well, what did I do to make you proud?" Because he wants feedback, so he knows how to make himself better, what I like.
Yeah.
And I don't ever do that. I'm always like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
So then it made me realize that's a skill that I want to have, and it's a good trait to carry with me.
See, now you just answered both next questions. How would you like to see a change, and how about in your partner? Jasmine, did you see my notes
I
beforehand?
didn't. No.
No, we're just on the same wavelength. We learned about the listening process.
Yeah.
Now, remember when we played telephone, the listening game, as we
Yes.
whispered? That was about the listening process. Who remembers what the listening process was? Remember the 5 words that we had mixed up?
Receiving,
Understanding.
understanding,
Mhm.
evaluating.
Mm-hmm.
Remembering.
Mm-hmm.
And responding.
That's right. Beautiful. All right, and the 5 exercises from Julian Treasure are?
They are.
That one.
Yep, 3 minutes of silence a day.
Yep.
Yep.
He called it the mixer.
Mixture.
Identify individual sounds.
Same
Like
thing.
if you're in a coffee shop and you hear the latte maker going, you focus on just that.
Okay.
And then savoring is called the hidden choir. If you're out taking a walk and you hear birds amongst the traffic you're walking around, you listen to just the birds. And then the listening position was interesting because we all take a position when we're listening, whether we're passive or aggressive or any of the other positions. And then also his acronym, which is basically summarizing the process. Receive, appreciate, summarize, and ask.
What was the name of that person's acronym?
Julian
Oh.
Treasure, and it's called RASA.
Julian Treasure.
Julian Treasure. He's on TED Talks. If you're not familiar with TED Talks, I want to turn you on to that. It is fantastic on YouTube. He just covered, it's really pertinent stuff that they cover a lot of really updated current issues. You'll find it fascinating.
Yeah, they're thought leaders. They're great.
Mm-hmm. First off, now that we're finishing, are there any questions?
No, I just want to say that Just the Facts Man, remember that old TV show? I say that a lot to a lot of women. Just the Facts Man.
Oh, I love it. Is that not perfect? Because women, we could go on and on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're to the point. You like those conversations. That's cool.
Well, just to say thank you again, I will have a surprise for each of you.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yay!
Lastly, you do have an evaluation there in your packet in answering, as it states there, 1 being the most positive and 5 being, do I have it backwards?
I thought 5 was the most.
Okay, well I was wrong.
Go ahead. Is the most positive response. Yes.
Yeah.
Is the least.
Yeah, there we
You
go.
already did.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 is most positive.
Thank you for
No.
coming.
You can hit the middle button to
One.
stop it.
This one?
Okay.
Over here.
The
Oh, thank you,
training was
Jesse.
relaxed. Spoke